beats don't sound like this yet, you're probably missing at least one of these plugins. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 plugins that I use that make my beats sound full, loud, and industry ready. And one of these completely changed how my drums hit, so make sure you stick around. Let's get right into it. The first we're going to start with is the sound source, because without that, nothing else matters. So kicking it off, the first plugin I'm going to talk about is Analog Lab. Analog Lab is a great place to get all your melodic sounds. It's high quality. You have a great variety. You can make any genre really that you want with Analog Lab. So this is one of the most essential VSTs you can have. And the great thing is, if you're balling on a budget, Analog Lab Play is completely free. So you can download that. It has some presets, but the real power comes from having the ability to buy third-party banks, import those, and use those in your production. Now, if you have the money for it, you've been producing for a while, then I recommend getting the V Collection X or 11, whatever number we're on now, because that's going to allow you to use all of the instruments that Arturia has to offer. You can go in and edit all the little knobs, all the little details, and make your own presets and just have more control over the presets that you're using. But if you don't have the money for that, it's no problem at all. Analog Lab Play can get you so far, and if you're getting good third-party banks that usually aren't that expensive, you're gonna have all the sounds you need anyway. The ability to go through and make your own presets and stuff is going to be something that is more beneficial for the advanced producers who are looking to make their own sound kits and start monetizing their production that way. Honorable mentions for the sound source category would be Expand 2 and Xenology. Expand 2 goes on sale a lot, super cheap for like 15-25 bucks. So that's another good one that has a lot of variety, good sounds in there for a low cost. Xenology is a little more expensive, but again, it's one that has a bunch of sounds, a bunch of high quality sounds, a lot of sounds that are super good for track production, but it's not as good for sound design, and there's no free option to get your foot in the door. The second plugin I want to talk about is Decapitator. Now, Decapitator is a saturation plugin, and saturation is something that can really make your beats sound different. Decapitator has a wide range of uses. You can use it on melodic elements, you can use it on your drums, you can use it on a mix bus for several sounds. It's just going to add texture, it's going to add grit, punch. There's a lot of things you can do with it. I'm not going to go over all that right now, but Decapitator is a very high quality plugin. It's from Sound Toys. All the Sound Toys plugins are super good, and this one is a must-have. It's one of my favorite from them. Number 3 is Diablo. Diablo is a drum enhancement plugin, and it is super dope. If your drum sounds aren't the hardest hitting, you're going to need a drum enhancement plugin to make those sound more industry quality. Now, you could get away without having this. If you already have a good drum kit, I would suggest Iconic or Iconic 2 from Chambers, or the drum mastery kits from Kavi. But if you don't have those, or if you're wanting to make your own drum kits, this plugin is essential. It can make your drums hit harder, it can give them more punch, it can add saturation, it can do all sorts of things to make your drums hit harder, stand out more, and just be more unique. Honorable mention here is the Knock plugin. Knock plugin is just as good or better. The reason why I'm going with Diablo is because it's cheaper. I was able to get it for free. I know it goes on sale a lot, it gets thrown in with bundles all the time. So if you get the opportunity to get Diablo for free, I highly recommend that. If not, Knock is just as good or better. They do basically the same thing. Diablo has a few more knobs and stuff, but really at the end of the day, Knock covers all the things you would need as well. Make sure you stick around to the last plugin, because it's the one that really takes your beats from the intermediate level to the advanced level, and it's going to make you more of an industry quality sound, more unique, and really get people talking about your beats. The fourth plugin is the Fruity Soft Clipper. So if you're on FL, congratulations, this is already in your DAW. There's nothing you gotta do. It's in there waiting for you. It is widely regarded as the best soft clipper on the market, or I don't know if it's really on the market because it's, I think, exclusive to FL. So if you're not on FL, sorry, you're gonna have to get a different soft clipper. I would recommend Gold Clip. I've never used it myself, but from what I've heard, it is super high quality and basically equivalent to the Fruity Soft Clipper. So if you're using a different DAW, get Gold Clip, but this is an essential plugin. Most of the times, this is the only plugin that is on my master chain. You just slap it on there, you drive everything into that soft clipper, and it just gives it this subtle saturation and punch that you just can't get other ways. All right, and finally we're to the 5th plugin, and this one may be controversial as it's a new plugin, but I'm going to plug Layerizer. Layerizer is a creative effects plugin that helps you create layers to add on to your beat. Gives you grains, echoes, delays, stuff like that, and it just adds fullness to your track, energy that you just can't get out of just the VSTs. Like if you just do plain VST sounds, you're gonna end up with something that sounds relatively dry. Now if you're using super creative presets, like you can achieve some crazy things with Analog Lab, then you may not need to go this extra step. But 9 times out of 10, there's ways you can utilize Layerizer or other creative effect plugins to add elements into your beat that are based off your other melodic elements that are already there, but you're just adding texture and subtle sounds that make it stand out. And it's really the biggest difference maker between someone who's at like the intermediate level to the advanced level, because the intermediate level producers, they'll make beats that sound good, everything sounds right, it's mixed well, drums hitting, melodies, you know, good, there's nothing wrong with it, but it just feels like there's something missing, like it's just not quite that industry level yet. And then once you discover how to incorporate special effect plugins and get these extra layers in your beat, you just get this extra feeling. It's something that you don't hear as much as you feel, and that's something you'll experience as you go through your production journey. I recommend Layerizer simply because it's relatively inexpensive, and it's super easy to use, and it does a lot all on its own. You could definitely achieve the same effects using other plugins, but you're probably going to need a combination of them, or go through multiple processes where you can do everything all at once within Layerizer and create a very unique layer in your beat with relatively low effort. So I've been a big fan of Layerizer so far using it. The alternative for me would be using the Soundtoys bundle. The effect rack in the Soundtoys bundle gives you a bunch of presets for different chains of effects, and yeah, you could do the exact same thing through that, but the price difference is huge, and the ease of it, Layerizer is just so much easier to use, that's going to get my vote here. Well, these are my 5 plugins that I think are essential for all trap producers. You're probably thinking there's 1 or 2 that I've missed. The big one being an EQ. Obviously, you're going to need to EQ sounds. You're going to need to use an EQ in your production, but I didn't feel like it was worthy including in this video because every DAW comes with a solid stock EQ. So there's nothing really super interesting to talk about with that. The other one might be compressors, but honestly, you can get by without doing a whole lot of compression, especially in the early stages. When you don't really know what you're doing with compression, it's going to do more harm than good. Anyway, I hope you found value in this video. If there's any plugins you think I missed or are better than the ones I suggested, leave them in the comments below. Till next time, peace.